Yo, hey, I'm just getting out the shower and I'm making this video real quick just because the thought's fresh on my mind. I was thinking about making it into a YouTube video, but I'm like, let me make it here and let me just share this and post this on here. If I want to download it and put it on YouTube, I will later. But I had these thoughts right now. I'm just getting out the shower, just thinking about things. I was in the shower thinking about these things, and I didn't really want to wait. I didn't really want to wait to share this insight. The insight was just vibing, listen to some music before bed. But the insight was that why don't people want to look into their astrology? And do they? And the people who do, why don't people want to look deeper into life and ask themselves and gain answers, yet alone ask the questions that need to be asked, to seek the answers that are available to you? Why don't people do these things? And I sat there and I thought about everybody in my life, and I thought about myself, and I'm like, why do I care about the truth? Why do I care about what's right? And why do people not care about it as much as me? Well, is one simple thing that I came up with was that people are too afraid to grow. This is why people don't do their astrology. People don't do their astrology because they know about it. They know it's there. They know to a degree that there's more they can learn about themselves. Why don't people look into sciences? Why do people seem to just scroll and look at BS on the socials and, just numb themselves with different type of stimulations, video games, music videos, clips, whatever it is? The reason is because people are too afraid to change. People are too afraid to grow. People are too comfortable where they are. I'm not like that. I identify with dragon energy. I'm somebody, hey Lisa, I'm somebody who sees myself and sees my life as worth evolving, worth growing in. It's not that I came from the worst of the worst or the best of the best. It's that when I look in the mirror, I know I can be better. People don't care to be better. So you can go and learn this esoteric information that was not available to you 20, 30 years ago. Now it's available to you at the palm of your hand, and you don't care about it. Why? Because you don't want to do anything different. You don't want to change. You don't want to grow. You don't want to evolve. You don't want to let go of your relationships. You don't want to evolve your relationships. The scariest thing about saying that I deserve more, the scariest thing about acknowledging yourself as a divine being, the scariest thing about acknowledging your life as rare as it is, the fact that you exist. People don't want to acknowledge that because they know that they're not giving it their best. They know that they're not appreciating this life for what it is. They know they're not appreciating their body for what it is. They know that they're not making the best use out of everything that they have around them. So why don't people look into astrology? The same reason why people don't go on and use their phones and use the internet to figure out things to improve their actual life. The same reason why people can't get up on time. The same reason why people let their health fall apart. Because you're too comfortable. And it's not that there's anything wrong with comfort, but the thing is, y'all, the people out there, women, this was one of the thoughts I had. Why do you so quick to put on makeup and put on weaves and put on wigs? And I'm not here to say that, oh, well, we're just beautifying ourselves. I'm not saying that you're wrong about that. I'm not saying that you don't have a way to express yourself artistically using yourself as a canvas. The women who do that, who get the pass, are the women who work on themselves naturally. The women who eat right. The women who do their yoga, do their meditations, who do their journaling. The women who play with their candles and go out in nature and ground. The women who care about themselves and their kids and want to be the healthiest self that they can for themselves and everyone around them. The women like that, I get when you put the face paint on. I get when you put a little bit of makeup on, a little bit of something to highlight your already gorgeous, already beautiful features. But to the women who don't drink water, who don't hydrate themselves and want to cover it up with makeup, to the women who fry their hair, putting chemicals in it without doing any research about what you're putting into your hair and putting on your body, like, you don't get that pass. To the people who are buying clothes to cover up your health issues, the people who think they need to get money or get this or get that to cover up everything that they're not doing. The reality is, you're too afraid to step into your power. You're too afraid to talk to God. You're too afraid to connect to the Most High. Because if you did, you would know that what you're eating and what you're doing ain't right. You would know that your natural self deserves to be adorned and beautified and brought out and taken care of. That means you need to be getting your rest. That means that you need to be hydrating. That means that you need to be eating right. You need to be exercising. You need to be doing all these things, but you don't want to do these things. So you get makeup, you get weave, you get all these things. And to the guys too, the guys, they cover it up with clothes. The guys cover it up with egos. The guys, what guys do, guys' makeup is energy. Guys' makeup is energy. They put on the facade that they're hard, that they're getting it, you know, that they got girls. They put on this facade, well, I'm getting money, but you're not taking care of your health. You're slick making music and doing things about destroying yourselves to make it normal. Well, I don't make music about destroying myself, and I don't create content about destroying myself, and I don't lift that up, and I don't do my things that I do for money. I put out a message that I live by. Self-development and self-growth, self-evolution, alignment with divine, alignment with the Most High. But when you do that, when you create that connection, when you study your astrology and you know your purpose, there is no excuse when you are off track. There is no excuse when you are distracted because you know better. Most people don't want to know better because they don't want to do better. And that's just the simple fact of the matter. That could be you. That could be the people you know around you. Who knows? There's days where you're on and there's days where you're off. Okay, I can understand that. I can feel that. I don't expect you to be a robot. But what I do expect you to do is to wake up and to be aware and to realize that the reason why you may not want to study your astrology is because you feel you want to stay comfortable in what you're already doing. You want to be comfortable in the knowledge that you already have. The reason why you don't want to study more of what this realm is and what this universe is because you don't want to do better. You don't want to do anything else. If you figured out that something was happening to where all money was going to be removed from the world, you might start thinking about things differently. If you started figuring out that everything's going to change tomorrow, and there's a news flash and a PSA, what do? You guys panic. You panic and you go and stock up on food. You go and stock up on all the necessities, all the things that you would need to survive. But when there is no sense of panic, when there is no critical moments coming up, y'all don't do what's best for yourself because it's best for you. It needs to be you get sick until you start making changes in your health. You have to wait until you go broke, until you want to finally start that business. You got to wait until your heart is broken, until you want to actually finally go and love yourself. When all of those things are available to you right now, why can't you go learn how to love yourself right now? Because you're going to have to start living different, and people are too lazy, people are too afraid to change that. So it's not that the information is not there. It's not that there aren't people like me out there telling you and showing you what to do. As a matter of fact, all of the champions of the world come back with the same message. You can do it. You believe in yourself. You got it. That's the same message that I bring. And the reason why I bring this message is because it's true. When you connect to the Most High and when you connect to the divine, which you're going to figure out very quickly, you're going to figure this out, is that you already have everything you need to step into the life of your dreams. You cannot do anything better until you become something better. If you don't want to look into your astrology for religious beliefs or this beliefs, I don't believe it. I think it's all excuses, because somebody who's sick is going to look for any solution, any cure, any relief, any remedy to what they have. But the thing is, you don't think you have nothing. You don't think that you're sick. You don't think that your programming is messed up. You don't think that your priorities are out of whack, but they are. And when you look into astrology, they're going to get fixed. When you start connecting to the Most High, when you start connecting to Source, you're going to realize and know for yourself what you have to fix. But you're not going to, because you're comfortable with your patterns. You're comfortable with your life. And until that gets threatened, you're not going to do anything about it. Until you realize that the makeup is poisoning you, until you realize that people are falling in love with a false version of you and your heart is only getting broken because you keep putting on makeup rather than developing your true self. When you start realizing that people don't care about how you feel, people don't care about your ego or how much money you got, man, but we do care about the wisdom that you have, because the wisdom that you have is going to turn into actions, and your life is going to reflect that. And we admire all of the men in this world who are living a great life, who are being a great man. And that comes through knowledge and wisdom. That doesn't come through money. That doesn't come through your attitude or how much better you can trash talk the next man or the next person. So the reason why I realize people don't want to learn more is because people don't want to do more. Or people don't want to do less. People don't want to let go of things that they don't need to do. I'm sorry. If you were to learn your astrology and we aligned you with your purpose directly, and we identified all of your strengths, and we identified all of your weaknesses, chances are you're going to ignore it all and go back into the life you're living right now. That's why what I teach and what I do is not for everybody. It's for the few people who are actually looking to change and to grow and to evolve in this world. I'm not here for the weak. That's why I identify with that dragon energy. That's why I identify as a king, as a pharaoh, as a chief, because I'm going to do what needs to be done. And I hope that example is enough to inspire people. But to convince people to study, to convince people to learn, to convince people to care about themselves, to convince people to be healthy, to convince people to connect with nature, I ain't got no time for that. You need to go get sick. You need to go get your heart broken. You need to go through something. And when you go through those things, what you're going to realize very quickly is that everything that you needed to elevate to the next level, you already had. You're going to realize you need to stop wasting your time. You're going to realize you need to stop donating your energy to things that are not giving you anything back. You're going to realize that relationship that you've been entertaining, you've only been entertaining it because you haven't wanted to level up. And you don't feel like you deserve more respect. You don't feel like you deserve the most beautiful person who sees you as the most beautiful person. You don't feel like you deserve that. So you settle for who you have. You're unhappy next to the person you're with. You're unhappy because you're trying to get that person to be something that they're not. Because you won't change. You won't be something that you know you're supposed to be. You're being something that you're not. So you want them to be something that they're not. You don't want to look into your astrology. You don't want to level up. You don't want to go to deeper levels. Trust me, you don't. Because when you start learning better, you're going to realize that you need to start doing better. When you realize you need to start doing better, you're going to realize you may not have the willpower to do it. You might care about what they think about you too much. You might want what the world says you should have rather than what the Most High says, what you should be doing and what you should have. You want what you want for you. You don't want what the universe wants for you. You want things to come fast. You want quick money. You want quick love. But the reality is, you need to love yourself, and you need to find the value in yourself, and those things will come chasing you. Relationships will come chasing you. The bag will start chasing you once you start becoming authentic, once you start becoming great. You don't need to find a job. You don't need to find a new business. You don't need to find a new relationship. You don't need to go out and meet people. You need to meet yourself. You need to find yourself. That's a fact. You do what you want with that. But the reality is, at our fingertips, we have access to so much more information than what we did 20, 30 years ago. You can learn how to do anything. You can learn anything about yourself. You can choose to level up. But the reason why people don't choose to level up, the reason why people don't choose to learn, the reason why people tap out is because they want to go distract themselves so they feel comfortable with where they already are in life. There's nothing cool about being mediocre. There's nothing cool about being average. You are average. Your kids are going to be average because you're showing them what it's like to be average. Until you choose to learn more and study more and be more, could you ever offer that to somebody else? I can't teach you and tell you to do drugs. I can't teach you and tell you to put on this clothes and put on that clothes. I can't teach you and tell you about what bag to get. But what I can tell you about is how to find your true value and how to raise that. And I promise you the bag come to you. I promise you the relationship come to you. You need to connect with the Most High. You need to connect with the Most High version of you. You need to stop trying to find people and find yourself. You need to stop trying to find answers. And start asking questions. Y'all trying to look for answers without asking questions. Are you even living the right way? You have this one life. And the only thing that you guaranteed is at the end of this life is you're not going to make it out alive. That's the one thing you do know. So why not give it your all? Why not give it everything that you have? Why spend another day being mediocre? Why? Because it's comfortable? Because it's easy? Start getting up at a different time. Start going to sleep at a different time. Start eating different. Start completing that project that you said you wanted to complete. Start beautifying your natural organic self before you start throwing on all the makeup. Start talking to yourself. Start talking to the Most High before you start scrolling and texting and calling people. Start making the most of what you have right now before you start looking for new opportunities. You want a handout. You want something from somebody else when you got it all. You got it all right now. Real wealth is going to be found when you see your true value. The relationship is going to come to you when you truly love yourself. This is why people don't do astrology. People don't do astrology not because they don't believe in it. People don't do astrology because of religion. People actually choose religion because they don't want to think for themselves. Y'all know that? Y'all know people choose religion because they don't want to think for themselves. Because everybody has a connection to source. Everybody has a connection to the Most High. I don't care what you do or how you do it or what you call it, how you look at it. It's there. Most people don't want to acknowledge it. Most people want to do the minimum to say that they're spiritual or to say that they're in alignment. Most people who go to church are unhealthy. Most people who go to church are not fit. Most people who go to church are not talking to God themselves. They're doing what everybody says they need to do, or they're putting on a facade for everybody, or they're going to church looking for a girl, or they're going to church trying to be picked up and saved. Most of these girls on here ain't looking for love. They're looking to be saved because they don't want to do no real work for themselves. I'm sorry, man or woman, you have the equal amount of work to do. You have the equal amount of love to give to yourself. You have a chart. She has a chart. He has a chart. You better study yourself. You better figure out who you are. But you don't want to do that because once you figure out who you are, and once you find out your purpose, and once you figure out your strengths and your weaknesses, you're going to have to change your life. And that's what you don't want to do. That's why you don't deal with astrology. That's why you don't deal with esoteric knowledge. That's why you don't want to cleanse the parasites out of your body because you like how you eat. It tastes good. It feels good. But you're going to have to change your life to afford healthier foods. You may have to relocate where you're currently living to step into the next phase of your life. But you may never do that because you're comfortable. You're too afraid to take what risk? What risk? Risk not chasing your goals? Risk living a life where you're not healthy? That's a risk. To not take your health serious is a risk. To not love yourself first is a risk. Because when you get into the relationship, when you get to the opportunity, you can't keep it. Why is that? I'll tell you right now why it is. Because you're not doing the work. And you don't want to do the work. You don't want to change and you don't want to evolve. So you're going to find yourself in the same relationships. You're going to find yourself in the same situations because you already have everything that it takes. That's it. Hey, what's up, Rajay? I'm about to post this. This was a live I did. I was just in the shower. I had crazy thoughts in the shower. I had to share it. And I'm probably going to post this on my YouTube as well. But at the end of the day, man, y'all got the message. That's all I wanted to say to you. Some of y'all ain't gonna like that. Some of y'all is gonna mess with you. Others of you is gonna resonate to the point to where you actually might make some type of change in your life. Others of you, you know what I mean, you might just go right back on to being mediocre, regular, degular, basic person. You might go right back to being fake and living a fake life and having a fake relationship and having a fake job and being fake happy and being fake wealthy. But to the real ones out there, you're going to look for your purpose. You're going to start asking questions. You're going to be like, you know what? I think I'm ready to level up. I think I'm ready to look deeper into who I am. I think I'm ready for clarity. I think I'm ready for this change. I'm tired of living this life that's not mine. I'm tired of doing what they want me to do. I'm tired of being unhealthy. I'm tired of looking in the mirror and not liking what I see. There's something that you can do about that. But it starts by looking at yourself clearly. You don't need to have a million conversations. You don't need a million friends. You need yourself. You need to give that attention to yourself. And that's the number one thing that they've done, is implemented these weapons of mass distraction to distract you from your own power. Simple. So y'all run this back if you have to. I love you guys. Get some rest. I'm about to meditate. I'm about to do my yoga. I'm about to, do my thing. I love you guys. I'm going to keep showing up. My music's getting a lot of plays now. Spotify, we hitting thousands of plays now on the music. My album, my music is out there to help you guys. My music is out there, like I said, it's not self-hate music. It's all self-love music. All the music that I put out is going to level you up. Everything that I say, everything that I do is to level you up, because that is the only thing that I focus on. That's why I'm an astrologer. I'm an astrologer because I look at purpose. I look at strengths. I look at weaknesses as a profession. That's what I do. So what do you think I look at when I'm looking in the mirror? I'm not hating. Just because I want to grow and evolve doesn't mean I don't like what I see. I love what I see. Because I see a king, because I see royalty, because I see a pharaoh, because I see a wizard, because I see a dragon. Because I see that, I do the work. Because I see that, I elevate at least 1% every day. That's why I have this on my face. To make sure that when I look at myself, I know that I'm the guy that's doing the work. I'm the guy that's getting 1% better every day. I've got that in me. I am not mediocre. I am not regular. And I don't got time for people who are like that either. And I ain't got no wisdom or information for regular mediocre people either. I have wisdom and information and knowledge. I have insight and skills that only the greatest can use. What I offer isn't for entertainment. What I offer is not for fun. It's not. It's for work. It's for evolution. It's for redemption. Soul redemption is for reclaiming your soul. I don't offer you something to distract you. I don't offer you entertainment. I offer you wisdom. I offer you guidance. I offer clarity. I offer truth. And I ain't got nothing else on the table for you. I love y'all. Hold it down, but keep it up. Peace.